Let's go ahead and create our first plan. You see a lot of people creating their first plan from here by clicking on the new plan. And that's okay, and you can do that. But I believe there's a better way and something of a best practice that you may follow, because this is how usually bigger organizations use Planner. And this is by starting from the Teams application. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna click here, and then we're gonna select Teams. And here's the use case that we're gonna use in these lessons. So we have a website, and this website at the moment doesn't have a feedback form, and we want to create a feedback form for our website. And in order to do that, we want to engage a few people, assign them some tasks, and make sure that these tasks are done in the next month or so. So how we gonna do that is by creating a plan. But before we create a plan, we're gonna create a new team that's gonna deliver on this plan. So we're gonna click here at the bottom on join or create team, and we're gonna click on create a team. You can use an existing Microsoft 365 group or team, or in this case, we're gonna build one from scratch. Then you have a few options. I'm gonna keep this private, and the name of the plan is gonna be website feedback form. And then we're going to type a description. This is a plan to deliver a feedback form for our 99 productivity website. Okay, we're going to create this. Then the next thing that we'll need to do is add team members. If you are in an organization, you can straight away start typing names, and people that are in your organization are gonna pop up here, or other plans or groups that you've been involved with. You'll be able to see them and add them here. Because we are at the moment not part of an organization, what we can do, and because we're going to work with some external resources, what we're going to do is we're going to add guests. In order to add guests, we can type any email. For example, I'm going to type Rebecca at Rebecca12 at hotmail.com, just as an example. And I'm gonna add Rebecca as a guest. Then I also gonna add, for example, Steven. I have him here. And then I'm gonna add, for example, Mohammed at hotmail.com. And let's add one more. So for example, Rachel at hotmail.com. These are just example names. I'm gonna delete them later just for these lectures. And that's it. I'm gonna add these people. Now keep in mind that if you add guests, they wouldn't have all the permissions that a person in your organization will have. So they wouldn't be able to edit everything in Teams, but in terms of Microsoft Plan, they'll have all the necessary access needs that we need. And if you cannot add guests, jump into my Manage Members lesson. And this is going to show you how to adjust Microsoft 365 in order to be able to add guests to your Microsoft Plan. And that's it, we are done. I'm gonna close this. And now we have our space for the website feedback form. In order to create a plan now, it's as simple as clicking add a tab button. And then we're gonna select planner. And then from here, we're gonna create a new plan. So let's name it website feedback form. And then we're gonna save that. You can use an existing one, but obviously that's not gonna work for us in this case. And this is just saying that it's gonna post announcements that we've created this new tab. And we're going to click on save. And now Microsoft's going to create our plan. At this point, we have our plan created for us. It took only a few seconds. And there are two options here. You can continue working on the plan from your Microsoft Teams straight away here from here. And if you actually switch to posts, you're going to see that it made announcement from my name that this Microsoft plan was created. So if I just click on it, it's going to take me to the plan, but this is again in Microsoft Teams. But because we want to explore more of the Microsoft plan functionality, for these lessons, I'm going to go back to Microsoft 365 and I'm going to find the actual planner app instead of working on it directly from Microsoft Teams. And this is going to take me to my planner hub. And this is where you get to understand how this works. So imagine that you're part of 20 different teams, right? In order to see all the plans that have been created around these teams, the best place will be to come here to the Planner Hub. So where you'll be able to see the progress of everything instead of going through the dozens of different teams. But anyway, so let's just click on website feedback form from here. And this is now launched the website feedback form. And in the next lesson, we're going to explore more on how to proceed with this plan. So we've created our plan. The next thing that you need to do is to add the tasks to the plan. And this is actually what most people do, but I will suggest another approach as a best practice, because even the smallest plan is kind of a really simple project. For example, here we are trying to build a website feedback form. So the first thing that we need to think about is the different sections that we have in this plan. And Microsoft Planner calls these buckets. So here's how it works. So usually the first bucket that you have is to do, which you can rename. Let's think about our use case. We're trying to build a website feedback form. Usually the sections may be something like business case, right? So this is going to cost money. So someone in the business needs to approve a business case. Then we're probably gonna have analysis. Then we're gonna have a new bucket which is gonna be development. Then we're gonna have testing, and then release and maintenance. We've added 5 buckets now, so that's gonna be more than the screen that you have on the laptop, so you can just use the scroll bar to see the different buckets. Or we can also minimize the screen if you want to see more space. Let me do that. Also, my advice will be to always first start by thinking about the plan and coming up with the different sections. Obviously, if you already have a list of tasks, see how they can logically fit into a few sections. Because the point of Microsoft Planner is that it's visual and it's easy to work with. So having section is gonna make it so much easier instead of having one huge list of 20 items in one column here. You can always move the sections or the buckets around. So I can simply drag and drop a bucket to the left or to the right. If I want to delete a bucket, I just click here on more options, and then I can delete it from here, rename it or move it. And this covers buckets. In the next lesson, we're going to explore how we add actual tasks to these buckets. Welcome back. So far, we've divided the plan into logical buckets. So we have business case, we have analysis, development, testing, and release and maintenance. Now it's time to actually assign the different tasks that are related to this plan. We are creating a website feedback form, and usually the first thing when you're in a business, you need to create a business case and you need to present it to management in order for this to get approved and get the budget. Right. Then the next task that we're gonna add here is gonna be approval of business case. And then we want the approval business case to be after the create business case. So we're just gonna move it. It's a simple drag and drop. After we get the approval of the business case, we will need to do some further requirements gathering. Then we will need to get approval of the requirements. Then we need to create the actual mockup based on which the website feedback form is going to be created. And we need to get a sign off. Now, based on how you want to arrange this, you can actually keep the tasks in this order, but I usually tend to move them the other way around. The next thing that we want to do is to assign a developer. That's now in the development stage, and develop the feedback form. This is gonna do for the development one. We can scroll to the right if we have more buckets than the screen can allow us to see. Then we need to assign testers or tester, then provide testing feedback. Then the final stage is going to be to actually release and maintain. Final amendments, release of feedback form, and someone will need to maintain it. Okay, let me move them around. And this is as simple as it is to add tasks to a plan. In the next lesson, we're going to explain some further features of the tasks that we just created.